Okay, let's look at this question here, which is a finance question, which means I know it is exponential. Let me just write out my exponential equation on my formula sheet. Y equals A times B to the T over P exponent. Now, remember, there's only one thing you're not allowed to know. So let's go ahead and read this question. So we have a principal, that's your initial amount of 1,350, was invested in a term deposit that pays 8% interest compounded quarterly. Okay, that's my base. So I have 100%, all of my money, plus an extra 8%, but that 8% is compounded quarterly, which means I get paid 4 times a year. So I need to divide that by 4. So that means my base is 100% plus 2%, which is 102%, but we like to write that as a decimal, 1.02. Okay, now if it is compounded quarterly, that means our period is going to be in terms of years. So we get compounds quarterly 4 times a year. That means that every 1/4 of a year, I get paid interest. So my period would be 1/4. I want to algebraically determine the number of years. There it is. That's what I don't know. It takes the investment to earn at least $500 in interest. Now, that does not mean that Y is 500. If I went from 1,350 to 500, I am losing money. That doesn't make sense. So I am not doing that. So I'm earning interest, which is the extra amount. So the extra plus my initial means that I want my final value to at least be 1,850. So let's plug this all in. So I have 1,850 equals my initial investment, 1,350, multiplied by my base, 1.02, to the T we want, divided by 1/4. So let's tidy this up a little bit. First thing I want to do is, because I'm solving this algebraically, I need to get my exponent, my base, my whole power by itself. Okay, if I wasn't solving it algebraically, I would have put it into the calculator, y1, y2. Okay, so on this side here, on my calculator, I'm going to go 1,850 divided by 1,350. I get a long decimal, so I'm going to math fracket. I'm going to work with my fraction, which is 37 over 27 equals to 1.02. Now, t divided by 1/4, there's an imaginary 1 in front, so it's 1 divided by 1 divided by 4, which is just 4t. Okay, I can't write the same base on both sides because 1.02 is not a nice base. So to solve this algebraically, if exponential form isn't working for you, switch to log form. Okay, so what I'm going to do is switch to log form using Bay. So when I switch between logs and exponents, the base always stays the same, and it is x and y that interchange. Or you can use Bay. Log of B stands for base, A stands for answer, E stands for equals exponent. Okay, so this is just an ugly number, which I'm going to put into my calculator. So I'm going to go math alpha math, log base 1.02 of 37 divided by 27. And I get 15.91107, etc. equals 4t. Okay, I'm going to keep that number on my calculator. I'm not going to round until my last step. Divide both sides by 4, and I get 3.9777 blah, blah, blah equals t. Now, the question asked us the number of years. Now, even if that was 3.1, I haven't reached that minimum amount of 1,850 on the 3rd year. So really, when it comes to this, we could either round it to 3 or round it to 4. Now, I know rules of rounding tell us to round it to 4, but I want to be clear that even if that was 3.19, you would still round to 4. Okay, so we round up because it hasn't reached it yet by 3 years. So it is going to take 4 years for our investment to reach a total of at least 1,850.